Customs officers report an 85% rise in drug busts in the first 8 months of the year. And constructive talks between Foreign Minister Wang Yi and the White House National Security Advisor during multiple meetings in Malta. A lawmaker says around 30 Jpex investors who have lost an estimated $100 million have sought assistance from him. Mimosingai has details.
On Sunday, the cryptocurrency trading platform Jpex issued an online statement saying they would remove all transactions on their Earth trading interface at midnight. This means investors will not be able to place new orders on the interface starting from today. The virtual asset platform claims the decision was prompted by the unfair treatment by relevant institutions in the city and a series of negative news. Our partnered third-party market makers have maliciously frozen funds. This Jpex investor said the platform has good marketing strategies, including using celebrities and social influencers to promote its products. The marketing made us feel real, she said. In July last year, the city's Securities and Futures Commission, or FFC, put Jpex on its alert list, a list of entitles that have caught the body's attention because they lack a license and are believed to be targeting local investors. Nonetheless, the FFC did not name and shame Jpex operation until last Wednesday. Lawmaker Johnny Ng, who is helping the Jpex investors, said while he cannot say the FFC is slow in response to the matter, the body can improve its regulation.
I think for the SFC can learn a lessons for this case. I want they can put more efforts to disclose information in more timely manner and also use more public media channel to let the publics to know which exchange are legal.
However, blockchain technology expert Louis Lee criticized the FSC for its handling of the case, saying the body could have done more to protect investors.
Jpex, meanwhile, claims its headquarters are in Dubai and serves as a platform for reliable and recognized cryptocurrency exchanges. Mimosingai, TVB News.
The Customs and Excise Department today revealed Hong Kong's latest drug crime-related figures. In the first 8 months of this year, the number of drug busts surged 85%, with the most notable increase involving cannabis cases. Jackie Lin with more.
After the border reopened, rising in tandem was the number of drug trafficking cases busted. Between January and August this year, Hong Kong Customs cracked down on more than 940 drug smuggling cases, marking a surge of nearly 85% year-on-year, with the amount of illicit drugs seized totaling 4,800 kilograms. In terms of value, the total narcotics haul saw an upswing of 75% to more than $2.2 billion. And cannabis took up the bulk of cases, with a notable threefold surge as more than 1,200 kilograms were seized. That's followed by meth and cocaine. The Customs Department also found that air routes are preferred ways to smuggle drugs.
For the majority of cases that Hong Kong Customs detected at the Hong Kong International Airport, the majority are involved cocaine and ice. And they are from the South American countries and transiting some African countries and to the Hong Kong.
Total amount of drugs seized via air passengers rose 6.5-fold to 128 kilograms, while those caught through air cargo doubled to 3.3 tons. Hong Kong Customs held a 5-day workshop inviting representatives from 24 mainland and international law enforcement agencies to share the latest drug trafficking trends and tactics.
Drug traffickers are opportunist organization in reality, and they use this very strong position of Hong Kong in international trade. At the international level, Hong Kong is a very, very important place in this fight against drug trafficking.
The Hong Kong Customs hopes to hold more international summits and workshops like these to clamp down on transnational drug syndicates. Jackie Lin, TVB News.
Wang Yi, who heads the Foreign Ministry as well as the Communist Party's Foreign Affairs Office, is beginning a 4-day trip to Russia today. During the visit, both Beijing and Moscow are expected to pledge deeper mutual political trust. This in anticipation of a possible landmark visit by Russian President Vladimir Putin to Beijing in October. Ahead of this week's visit, Wang traveled to Malta for hours of constructive talks with White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Daniel Rao tells us more.
Wang will be in Russia from Monday to Thursday for a round of strategic security consultations. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning called Wang's visit a routine one to hold in-depth talks on major strategic security interests. The Foreign Ministry said Wang will meet Russian Security Council Secretary Nikolai Patrushev for annual security talks during his stay. The Russian Foreign Ministry said last week that Wang's dialogue with his counterpart Sergei Lavrov will cover a wide range of issues, including contacts at the highest levels. Wang's trip comes with Russian President Vladimir Putin set to potentially visit Beijing for the Third Belt and Road Forum after an invitation by President Xi Jinping during his high-profile visit to Moscow in March. Putin is not known to have travelled abroad since the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant against him on grounds of the alleged illegal deportation of children from Ukraine. Ahead of this week's visit to Russia, Wang travelled to Malta for hours of constructive talks with White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Both sides held candid, substantive and constructive talks during multiple meetings, according to separate statements from the White House and the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Beijing said both sides agreed to maintain high-level exchanges and hold bilateral consultations on Asia-Pacific affairs, maritime affairs and foreign policy. Wang cautioned the United States that the Taiwan issue is the first insurmountable red line of Sino-US relations. A senior US official said there were also limited early signs that severed military communications between the two sides may start to be restored. Dunwell, TV News.
While in Malta, Wang Yi also met with Maltese President George Vella and held talks with Malta's foreign minister on Sunday. The two sides pledged to deepen bilateral cooperation. At the meeting, Wang conveyed President Xi Jinping's warm greetings to Vella. Wang stressed during the talks that China and the European Union should continue to maintain an open attitude and reject protectionism. This came days after the European Commission started an investigation in whether to impose tariffs to protect EU automakers against Chinese electric vehicle imports. There are allegations that Chinese electric cars are benefiting from state subsidies. Still ahead, 5 Greek rescue workers on their way to Libyan city of Derna die in a traffic accident. In Brazil, a plane crashes in the Amazon rainforest, killing all 14 people on board. And traffic disruptions on Chiang Mai Bridge after 5 traffic accidents this morning. Welcome back. In Libya, 4 Greek workers were killed in a road collision while on their way to help with flood rescue efforts. Their bus was involved in a collision with a vehicle carrying 5 Libyans while heading from Benghazi towards the worst-hit city of Derna. Around 11,300 people have reportedly died after floodwaters ravaged parts of eastern Libya, with thousands more missing. Nasvi Karim has more.
The Greek group had arrived in Benghazi ready to help in rescue efforts in the worst-hit coastal city of Derna. They never made it to the city. Libya's health minister Uthman Abdul Jalil says 4 of them died after their bus with 19 people inside was involved in a collision with the vehicle carrying Libyan family of 5, 3 of whom were killed. He offered his condolences to the people of Greece. 7 of the injured Greeks were in critical condition. Greece and several other countries have sent aid and personnel to Libya to help in relief and rescue efforts, most of them traveling from Benghazi to Derna, which suffered the brunt of the floods, which the Libyan Red Crescent says claimed more than 11,300 lives. Thousands more remain missing, most of them swept out to sea when 2 Derna dams, battered by Mediterranean storm Daniel, collapsed and sent torrents of water and mud crashing through the city. As the search for bodies continues, a French team has set up a field hospital in Derna. It has an operating theatre, 14 medical beds and a maternity ward. Officials say at least 891 buildings were destroyed by the floods, with almost 20% of Derna's 120,000 people either dead or missing. It is estimated that around 40,000 people are displaced. Many of them are unsure as to whether to stay and risk infection from the spread of waterborne diseases or seek shelter outside the city. This means possibly trekking through difficult terrain, made more perilous by the presence of landmines and other ordnance stockpiles that were shifted by the waters. Officials say around 3,300 bodies have been buried as of Sunday, many in mass graves outside Derna and others in nearby towns. Meanwhile, Derna's mayor, Abdul Mumin Al-Ghaiti, has been suspended from his post amid an investigation by the public prosecutor into funds allocated for the upkeep of the two destroyed dams. Nazri Karim, TVB News.
The bodies of the 14 people on board a small plane that crashed in the Brazilian Amazon rainforest were taken to the Amazonas state capital, Manaus, on Sunday. The passengers were later identified as Brazilian tourists. The Embraer EMB 110 aircraft had taken off Saturday from Manaus and was attempting to land in heavy rain when it crashed. The Brazilian Air Force has sent a team to collect information and preserve any evidence for an investigation into what caused the crash. Amazonas State Governor Wilson Lima had earlier told local media outlets that the cause of the accident was an error in the route taken at the time of landing. Today marks the 92nd anniversary of the September 18 incident. A bell-ringing ceremony was held in front of a monument at the September 18 Incident History Museum in Shenyang in Liaoning Province on the mainland. Air raid sirens blared while vehicles came to a halt and honked, with citizens standing in silent tribute. In Hong Kong, several groups petitioned the Japanese Consulate General, demanding an apology. On September 18, 1931, Japanese troops blew up a section of railway near Shenyang under their control and accused Chinese troops of sabotage as a pretext for subsequent aggression against China. At least 4 people were injured in 5 traffic accidents that all happened on Qingma Bridge this morning. All 5 accidents occurred within half an hour past 7:45 a.m. along the lanes towards the direction of the airport. One was a 5-car pileup with another collision involving 4 vehicles. At least 4 people sustained minor injuries. The accidents also severely affected traffic towards the airport. A private hospital in Shenzhen is offering pills and medical devices registered in Hong Kong and Macau at a discounted price compared to the SAR. The institution hopes to alleviate pressure on Hong Kong's healthcare system. Sharon Tang has details.
Currently, the waiting time for a magnetic resonance imaging scan, commonly known as an MRI, appointment in Hong Kong public hospitals is up to 1 year. For private hospitals, the average price of MRI scans ranges from $6,000 to $8,000. But if you choose to do it on the mainland, it's 20% less than the price in Hong Kong. Currently, designated hospitals on the mainland can use drugs and medical devices registered in Hong Kong and Macau. They can also purchase a large amount of pills such as molnupiravir or COVID-19 drugs and offer them at a much lower price than in Hong Kong. One of the designated facilities is this Hong Kong-funded hospital located at the heart of Futian in Shenzhen, which only started operations in May last year. The director of the hospital's board, Anthony Leung, hopes the initiative can alleviate the pressure on Hong Kong's medical resources and that Hong Kong residents don't have to wait too long for the services or medication. The hospital is also working with the medical center of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Shenzhen, to offer training and courses for medical students. Sharon Tang, TVB News.
That's the news. Pearl Magazine is up next. Bye for now.